Welcome to our channel, Legends of Black Excellence. Today, we dive into the hidden stories of 20 legendary black celebrities who led lives full of fame, talent, and mystery. While the world knew them for their groundbreaking achievements, few knew about the secret lovers they kept hidden until the very end. From icons of music and literature to film and activism, these stars maintained hidden romances that add another layer of complexity to their already fascinating legacies. Get ready for an intriguing journey behind the curtain of their private lives. James Baldwin. James Baldwin, born in 1924, was not only a powerful voice for social justice but also a man whose personal life remained a mystery until his passing. He lived through the harsh realities of racism, identity, and love, pouring his heart and soul into his writings. But the most intriguing aspect of Baldwin's life was his emotional and romantic journey, which remained hidden from the public eye. It wasn't until after his death that the world learned he had relationships with both men and women, though none of these were ever made public. This secrecy was likely influenced by the societal pressures of his time, where expressing one's true identity was a dangerous act. Baldwin's emotional experiences were woven into his novels like Just Above My Head, where he delicately explored love, identity, and desire between black men. His other works, such as Go Tell It on the Mountain and Another Country, also touched on complex emotions around love, longing, and what it meant to be human in a society that often didn't recognize his humanity. The mystery surrounding Baldwin's love life is not unique to him, but reflects a broader theme among black celebrities who kept their intimate lives under wraps, often as a means of self-preservation. In an era where the black community faced relentless scrutiny, these figures lived in a constant balancing act between their public personas and private truths. Baldwin's secret romances reveal the struggles of living in an oppressive world where the personal and the political intersect. His work continues to resonate with those who seek freedom in their own identities, and his experiences as a man caught between different worlds only deepen the power of his writing. Baldwin once famously said, "To be a Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be in a rage almost all the time." But perhaps the greatest rage of all was his secret, the burden of living in a world that forced him to hide parts of himself. His words will forever be a beacon for those who have ever been made to feel invisible or unheard. Whitney Houston. Much like James Baldwin, Whitney Houston also harbored a secret love story that remained hidden from the public eye for much of her life. Known for her unmatched vocal prowess, Houston became an international sensation with iconic songs like I Will Always Love You and Greatest Love of All. Born in the vibrant era of the 1980s, her name became synonymous with grace, beauty, and talent. However, beneath the glitz and glamour of fame, Whitney's personal life was far more complicated, filled with secrets that would only be revealed after her passing. One of the most intriguing secrets was her intense and passionate relationship with Robin Crawford, a woman who had been Whitney's confidant since their teenage years. The bond they shared grew from a deep friendship into something far more intimate, yet as Whitney's career skyrocketed, the pressures of the spotlight led her to conceal their love. As the media's obsession with her personal life intensified, Whitney chose to keep her relationship with Robin a secret, ultimately ending the romantic aspect of their connection. Despite this, their friendship remained strong, so much so that Whitney invited Robin to be her maid of honor at her wedding to Bobby Brown. While tabloids speculated about Whitney's relationships with men, the real story was the deep, enduring connection she had with Robin. The truth behind their love was only revealed posthumously, through Robin's memoir, which shed light on their struggles against societal expectations and the pressures of being in a relationship that defied convention. This secret love story, one marked by immense tenderness and sacrifice, was a poignant reminder of the often hidden truths behind the lives of celebrities who live in the public's constant gaze. Little Richard. Little Richard, a true rock and roll icon, changed the face of music with his electrifying performances and bold, unique style. Born Richard Wayne Penniman in 1932, his rise to stardom in the 1950s was swift, with unforgettable hits like Tutti Frutti and Long Tall Sally. His energetic, flamboyant stage presence captivated millions, and he quickly became a household name. Despite his fame and fortune, Little Richard's life was marked by a deep internal conflict, his struggle to hide his true sexual identity. The pressure to conform to societal norms and preserve his career led Little Richard to maintain secret relationships with men, all while keeping up appearances with women. Throughout his life, he had several wives, but it was his hidden love affairs with men that defined a significant part of his personal life. One such relationship was with dancer Audrey Robinson, known by the stage name Lee Angel, which remained largely a secret. This affair was one of many that Little Richard kept hidden, fearing that his career would be destroyed if the public ever knew the truth. Living in the crossfire of faith, music, and identity, Little Richard often felt torn between his religious beliefs and his authentic self. He would publicly renounce his sexuality, only to later contradict himself. He once openly declared that he had been gay all his life, but his internal struggle never allowed him to fully embrace this truth, revealing the pain he carried. Despite his contradictions, Little Richard's legacy as a musical pioneer is undeniable. His life became a conversation starter about identity and acceptance, and even after his passing in 2020, his influence continues to shape the conversation around self-expression and breaking free from societal constraints. Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. is celebrated as one of the most powerful icons in the fight for civil rights, with his eloquent speeches and unwavering commitment to equality and justice inspiring millions. However, the man behind the legend led a far more complex life than many realize. While married to Coretta Scott King, King maintained a long-term extramarital affair with Dorothy Cotton, a prominent figure in the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Their relationship was deep and intimate, with Cotton offering King great comfort, particularly during times when his public life was in turmoil. King himself once confessed that he wished for a society that accepted polygamy, reflecting his complicated views on love and commitment. Despite their closeness, King remained married to Coretta, a decision that stemmed from the pressures of public life and the necessity of keeping personal affairs private. As a globally recognized figure, King knew that exposing his affair would be catastrophic, leaving Cotton to quietly endure the shadow of their relationship. While he fought for civil rights, King was simultaneously battling his own demons, including a profound sense of guilt over his infidelity. The relationship with Cotton ended with King's assassination in 1968, and this personal chapter of his life remained largely concealed until after his death. King's story is a poignant reminder that even those who fought for justice and equality were not immune to the struggles of their own hearts and minds. Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye, a true musical genius, lived a life as tumultuous as it was brilliant. Born in 1939, his soulful voice became the backbone of timeless classics like What's Going On and Sexual Healing, elevating him to superstardom. His musical career, under the Motown label, was marked by his sweet, honeyed vocals and profound lyrics that resonated deeply with audiences. Yet, behind the spotlight, Gaye's personal life was marred by complexities, with 2 toxic marriages and numerous secret relationships that added to the chaos of his existence. One of the most captivating secrets in Gaye's life was his passionate and tumultuous affair with Janice Hunter. He met her when she was still in high school, and their relationship bloomed while Gaye struggled with his troubled marriage to Anna Gordy. Their affair became a whirlwind of love, producing 2 children together. However, the shadow of Gaye's infidelity and his addiction to substances haunted their relationship. What many didn't know was that Gaye had other affairs as well, often hidden from the public eye. These secret lovers were part of the complicated mosaic of his personal life, where fame, love, and addiction collided. Despite his fame and fortune, Gaye was constantly searching for genuine connections, trying to find solace from the pressure of his celebrity life. But his struggle to balance personal fulfillment with public expectations left him entangled in a web of secrecy and regret. As he grappled with the pain of his tumultuous relationships, Marvin Gaye's hidden love life remained a well-guarded secret until his tragic death in 1984, leaving behind a legacy that was as complex as the man himself. Etta James. Etta James is undeniably one of the most iconic voices in blues and soul, a queen whose voice, smooth as honey, melted the coldest of hearts. On stage, she exuded power and authority, captivating audiences with her timeless hits like At Last and I'd Rather Go Blind. Yet, behind her legendary career, Etta led a life far more complicated than her public persona suggested. Her ability to break boundaries in gospel, rhythm and blues, and rock and roll cemented her status, but it also masked a tangled web of personal struggles, hidden love affairs, and battles with addiction that often overshadowed her musical genius. Rumors of secret relationships and ongoing battles with addiction swirled in the headlines, hinting at untold chapters in Etta's love life. Her private world was filled with passionate but hidden romances, possibly as a way to preserve her image or simply because she craved the privacy that her dramatic and often tumultuous life could not offer. One such relationship was with Harvey Fuqua, a musician and producer, who was part of her life during the peak of her fame. Their connection went beyond the surface, but much of their bond was kept behind closed doors, away from the prying eyes of the public. In addition to dealing with personal relationships, Etta fought against a chaotic marriage and an unstable lifestyle. Despite these challenges, she never lost her artistic talent, continuing to perform and record music throughout her career. She won Grammy Awards and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, solidifying her legacy as one of the greatest musicians of all time. Etta's legacy is a testament to a strong and resilient artist, a true music legend, whose personal life remained a mystery until the end. Josephine Baker. Josephine Baker was the epitome of charisma, activism, and secrecy, all woven together in the remarkable life of a performer who captivated Paris in the 1920s. With her unique style and magnetic presence, she was more than just an entertainer. She became a symbol in the fight against racial inequality and for freedom. Yet, behind the public image of Baker was a far more complicated personal life, filled with secretive love affairs and romantic entanglements that defied conventional norms. Her love life was anything but simple. Baker, who was known for her allure and charm, shared intimate connections with both men and women, dancing to the rhythm of her own desires. Rumors circulated about her passionate affair with the legendary artist Frida Kahlo, a woman whose creativity and intensity rivaled, if not surpassed, Baker's. This was just one chapter in a series of secret relationships, including an affair with famous novelist Georges Simenon, and an intense romantic connection with the renowned Swiss-French architect Le Corbusier. Despite her thrilling personal escapades, Baker remained deeply committed to her activism and art. She used her platform to challenge racial injustice and became one of the most courageous civil rights advocates of her time. Her advocacy for racial equality was as powerful as her performances on stage, and she didn't shy away from using her fame to make a difference. Yet, the complexities of her private life, the hidden loves and clandestine passions, remained largely under wraps, only adding layers to the myth of her public persona. Josephine Baker was not just an entertainer, but a symbol of empowerment, art, and love, both openly celebrated and privately concealed. Her legacy continues to shine as a trailblazer in both the worlds of entertainment and civil rights, forever remembered as an icon who kept her deepest desires hidden while fighting for the freedoms of others. Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was more than just a groundbreaking comedian and actor. He was a cultural force who used his sharp wit and unfiltered honesty to reshape the landscape of comedy. Born in 1940, Pryor's rise to fame began in the 1960s, and he soon became known for his brutally honest, and often controversial, take on race, addiction, and relationships. Albums like That Nigger's Crazy earned him critical acclaim and multiple Grammy Awards, solidifying his status as a comedy icon. But despite his openness on stage, his personal life remained far more secretive, particularly when it came to his relationships. Pryor had numerous marriages and public relationships with women, but his romantic entanglements with men were mostly kept out of the spotlight, only becoming widely known after his death through his autobiography and interviews with those close to him. For a public figure like Pryor, being linked to a romantic relationship, not just with one woman but with a man, was something he felt could have serious consequences for his career, given the sensitive nature of his sexual orientation at the time. One of Pryor's most well-kept secrets was his intimate relationship with actress Catherine McKee. This affair was more than just a passing fling, as it held a deeper significance for him, though he kept it largely under wraps. The secrecy surrounding this relationship, and others like it, reveals the complexity of Pryor's life, where he was willing to be open about so many aspects of his life, yet carefully guarded about his romantic and sexual preferences. His hidden relationships, especially with men, remained a well-kept secret, only coming to light after his passing. Richard Pryor's life was a balancing act between public transparency and private secrecy, making his legacy all the more fascinating. Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney was a comedy legend whose sharp wit and fearless voice turned uncomfortable societal issues into comedy gold. Known for his iconic collaboration with Richard Pryor, which began in 1968, Mooney's contributions shaped some of the most memorable moments in comedy history. His unapologetic approach to topics like race and social issues left an indelible mark on the comedy scene. From In Living Color to Chappelle's Show, his work established him as a pioneering figure in comedy. However, while his public persona as a trailblazer in entertainment is well known, his private life tells a different, more complex story. Mooney was known for keeping his personal relationships tightly guarded, especially when it came to his romantic entanglements. He preferred to keep his love life out of the limelight, and it wasn't until later in his life that close friends and colleagues revealed his attraction to both men and women. These secret romances, which Mooney kept hidden from the public eye, added another layer to his already fascinating life. In his memoir, Black is the New White, Mooney candidly opened up about his experiences, including his struggles with addiction, fame, and his complex relationships. His friendship with Richard Pryor, in particular, was a cornerstone of his life, providing him with a deep connection to someone who truly understood him. Despite the challenges he faced in his personal life, Mooney's legacy in comedy remains intact. His willingness to challenge social norms and bring unspoken truths to the stage made him a trailblazer who was as influential in his private life as he was in his public career. Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens is synonymous with greatness. He made history by defying Adolf Hitler's Aryan superiority narrative, clinching 4 gold medals at the 1936 Berlin Olympics. Born in 1913 in Oakville, Alabama, Owens faced harsh racial discrimination from an early age, but he didn't let that hinder his pursuit of excellence. Dominating the 100m, long jump, 200m, and 4x100-meter relay, he became one of the most celebrated athletes of all time. His accomplishments earned him admiration from the public as a sports legend, but his personal life was much more complicated. While Owens was married to Ruth Solomon in 1935 and had 3 daughters, rumors about his secret love affairs persisted, overshadowed by his Olympic fame. These relationships, often conducted in secrecy, hinted at the complex reality behind the public figure. Despite the cultural pressures of his time and the strict social expectations placed on men in his position, Owens' personal life revealed the struggles and desires that many celebrities of his stature tried to conceal. Owens' extramarital relationships rarely made headlines, reflecting the stigma surrounding infidelity and forbidden love in that era. Even after his death in 1980, stories of his secret lovers began to surface, painting a portrait of a man who, while undoubtedly a sporting icon, was also deeply human, with his own secret desires and battles. The complexities of his love life were largely ignored by the public during his lifetime, but the hidden chapters of his story offer a richer, more nuanced understanding of the man who changed history on the track. Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison is a literary star who reshaped the literary world with her profound explorations of the African American experience. Born in 1931 in Ohio, she went on to pen iconic novels like The Bluest Eye, Song of Solomon, and Beloved. These works delved into themes of identity, race, and love, showcasing her lyrical writing and emotional depth. Morrison's impact was undeniable, earning her both the Pulitzer Prize and the Nobel Prize in Literature. Her stories often focused on Black women, shedding light on their struggles and triumphs in a world rife with racial and gender discrimination. While Morrison's public life was centered around her literary achievements, her private life remained shrouded in mystery. She married Harold Morrison in 1958, but their marriage ended in divorce a decade later. Throughout her life, Morrison kept her romantic relationships with both men and women under wraps, perhaps in an effort to maintain privacy amidst her immense fame. One of her most notable, yet secretive, relationships was with comedian Fran Lebowitz. Friends and biographers have hinted at several key relationships that shaped her life and work, but these remained largely hidden during her lifetime. It wasn't until after Morrison's passing in 2019 that people began to open up more about her personal life. These revelations have added complexity to her legacy, showing that beneath the surface of her powerful prose was a woman who experienced love, loss, and intimacy just like anyone else, but kept these parts of herself closely guarded. The secrecy surrounding her relationships has only deepened the intrigue surrounding the life of one of the most important literary figures of our time. Nina Simone. Nina Simone, born Eunice Kathleen Wayman in 1933, was a music legend and activist whose impact on the world is still felt today. Initially aiming to become a classical pianist, it was jazz and blues that ultimately called to her, shaping her into one of the most unique and influential artists of her time. Songs like Mississippi Goddam and Feeling Good became anthems of the civil rights movement, cementing her commitment to social justice. Her distinct blend of genres and raw emotion captivated audiences and left a lasting legacy. Yet, while Simone was open about her activism, her personal life remained shrouded in secrecy. One of her most significant but hidden relationships was with Andrew Stroud, her second husband and manager. Their relationship was passionate but turbulent, marked by Stroud's abuse, which left a lasting impact on Simone's life and music. But her relationships didn't end there. Rumors swirled about her connections with notable figures, including civil rights activists, artists, and even women. Simone, however, never publicly acknowledged her romantic preferences. In fact, she wrote in her diary about her attraction to women, revealing a side of her that she kept private throughout her career. These hidden aspects of Simone's love life deeply influenced her music, adding layers of personal pain and longing to her already powerful songs. It wasn't until after her death in 2003 that the public began to glimpse the true depth of her emotional struggles and desires. Biographers have since uncovered these concealed parts of her life, revealing how they shaped not only her art but also the powerful legacy she left behind. Simone's story is one of beauty, strength, and complexity, where the public persona and the private struggles were intricately intertwined, making her music all the more poignant. Diana Ross. Diana Ross is known as the Queen of Motown, and for good reason. As the lead singer of the Supremes, she brought us timeless hits like Stop, In the Name of Love, and You Can't Hurry Love, songs that not only defined an era but also empowered black women in the music industry. Her career, spanning decades, earned her numerous awards, including a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, solidifying her as more than just a beautiful voice. She became a cultural icon. Yet, behind the glitz and glamour of her public persona, Ross's private life was filled with secrets, particularly regarding her romantic entanglements. One of the most talked about yet rarely acknowledged relationships in her life was with Smokey Robinson. The connection between them was electric, intense, and undeniably passionate. However, the romance came with its complications. Robinson was married at the time. Despite this, he later admitted that their bond went beyond just music, a reflection of the profound connection they shared. Ross also had a relationship with Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown Records, intertwining both their personal and professional lives. However, their affair eventually gave way to a more focused dedication to their careers. And then there were whispers about her link to Michael Jackson. While Jackson admired Ross deeply and saw her as a mentor, his feelings towards her were far from platonic. He harbored a strong infatuation with Ross, though she maintained a distance, carefully protecting her image and keeping the relationship strictly professional. These hidden layers of Diana Ross's love life, kept under wraps for most of her career, offer a glimpse into the complexity of a woman who defined music and culture, but whose heart was filled with private passions and struggles. Sammy Davis Jr. Sammy Davis Jr. was a true entertainment legend, a versatile artist who dazzled audiences as a singer, dancer, and comedian. Born in 1925, Davis began performing at a young age with the Will Maston Trio, captivating audiences with his remarkable talent. He later became a key member of the iconic Rat Pack, alongside Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, charming the world with his wit and charisma. His timeless hits, like The Candy Man and What Kind of Fool Am I?, earned him a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award and cemented his place in musical history. But behind his dazzling public persona, Davis's personal life was far more complex and secretive. Davis married 3 times, yet rumors surrounding his romantic entanglements with other celebrities like actress Kim Novak and singer Liza Minnelli were often kept under wraps. These relationships, shrouded in secrecy, may have been a response to the intense pressure of fame and the societal expectations of the time. Davis's love life was often tumultuous and fraught with complications, reflecting the unique struggles he faced as a black man in Hollywood. His private affairs had a profound impact on his music. Many of his songs, infused with longing and heartache, offered glimpses into the emotional turmoil stemming from these hidden relationships. Even after his death in 1990, more stories about his secret romances emerged, painting a portrait of a man who navigated the complexities of love, desire, and fame in his own way. Davis's ability to balance the public and private spheres of his life, where love was as complicated as his career, left a legacy that continues to intrigue and inspire. Bessie Smith. Bessie Smith, known as the Empress of the Blues, reigned over the music world with her powerful voice and unflinching authenticity. Born in 1894 in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Smith rose to prominence during the Jazz Age, recording over 160 songs and becoming the highest-paid African-American entertainer of her time. Her music resonated deeply with themes of love, heartbreak, and social struggles, themes that still reverberate with audiences today. But as captivating as her music was, so too was her personal life, full of passionate secrets and complex relationships. Smith was openly attracted to both men and women, and her romantic entanglements were as intense as her performances. Her marriage to Jack G was troubled, with infidelity on both sides. Yet it was her secret relationships with women in her chorus line that truly captivated. One of the most notable was her passionate affair with Lillian Simpson, which remained hidden from her husband. Their love was fiery, but Smith knew Jack would never accept it, forcing her to conceal the depth of their connection. Later in life, Smith's relationship with Richard Morgan, though overlapping with her marriage, was another well-kept secret. Their love affair was discreet, tucked away from the public eye. Tragically, Bessie's life was cut short in a car accident in 1937, taking with it the mysteries of her love life. Many of her most intimate relationships remained hidden from the world, leaving fans and historians alike to piece together the complexities of her personal passions. Her music, however, continues to tell the story of a woman whose heart and soul were as deeply layered as the songs she sang. Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes, a towering figure in American literature, concealed a complex and secretive love life behind his powerful words. Born in 1902, Hughes reshaped the literary world with his evocative poetry and prose that celebrated African American culture while addressing the struggles of racial injustice. His iconic works, like The Negro Speaks of Rivers and The Weary Blues, captured the essence of the African American experience, blending jazz rhythms with deep emotion. Publicly, Hughes was a literary icon and social activist, but his personal life remained shrouded in mystery. Hughes maintained several relationships that were kept out of the public eye, which spoke to the complexities of his identity and the societal norms of his time. His close friendship with Zora Neale Hurston hinted at deeper connections, yet many of his emotional relationships were never fully revealed. Only after his death in 1967 did discussions of his personal life begin to surface. Biographers have disclosed that Hughes had relationships with both men and women, a facet of his life that enriched his understanding of love and desire, ultimately influencing his work. These secret romances offered a rich context for his writings, deepening the themes of longing, identity, and passion that run through his poetry. Hughes' ability to intertwine personal experiences of love with broader cultural and social issues is part of what makes his work so enduring. Behind the public persona of the poet and activist, there was a man whose private life was as layered and complex as the verses he wrote. His love affairs, though hidden, gave a deeper dimension to his poetry, reflecting the universal human experiences of yearning and connection. Zora Neale Hurston. Zora Neale Hurston, a trailblazer in both literature and anthropology, lived a life that was as complex as the characters in her writing. Born in 1891 in Alabama, Hurston's upbringing in Eatonville, Florida, a town entirely populated by African Americans, deeply influenced her work. Her groundbreaking 1937 novel Their Eyes Were Watching God remains a powerful exploration of self-discovery and empowerment for Black women. Hurston's scholarly contributions, such as Mules and Men, also showcased her dedication to preserving Black folklore and traditions. While Hurston's literary accomplishments are well documented, her romantic life remains more enigmatic. She was married once to Herbert Sheen, but the union ended in divorce in 1931. Afterward, she engaged in numerous secretive relationships, many of which were kept hidden from the public eye. One of the most tantalizing rumors was her alleged passionate affair with Langston Hughes, though it was later revealed that their connection was more about friendship than romance. Their bond was intense but fraught with tension, and it ultimately did not last. Hurston's personal love life remained a mystery until after her death in 1960, when biographers began to uncover the truth. These revelations revealed that Hurston had relationships with both men and women, experiences that were kept under wraps during her lifetime. Her secret romances offered a new perspective on her character and also influenced the depth of her literary work. The complexity of her personal life added layers to her characters, showing the intertwining of love, identity, and the social forces she so powerfully depicted in her writing. Phyllis Hyman. Phyllis Hyman's voice was unlike any other, with the raw power to stir emotions in anyone who listened. Her timeless music, particularly classics like You Know How to Love Me and Living All Alone, continues to captivate R&B and jazz fans around the world. Yet, behind her undeniable musical success, Hyman's personal life was marked by struggles she worked hard to keep out of the public eye. Throughout much of her life, she fought with bipolar disorder and depression, conditions that plagued her for years. In an effort to cope with her mental anguish, Hyman turned to self-medication with alcohol and substances, seeking a sense of peace that always seemed just out of reach. It is a tragic irony that despite her fame and success, Hyman's mental health battles were often exacerbated by the very things that should have been her solace. As the years passed following her death, more details about her personal life began to emerge. It was revealed that Hyman had relationships with both men and women, including a long-rumored affair with musician Tina Clark. While she never publicly identified as bisexual, those close to her believed that her romantic relationships with women played a significant role in her life, shaping her personal journey in ways that were not widely known. These secret relationships, hidden beneath the public persona of a glamorous diva, reflect the complexities of Hyman's inner world. The facade of fame and success could not shield her from the intense emotional turmoil she faced, and her love life, much like her music, was filled with depth and quiet struggles. It wasn't until after her passing that the full scope of her personal battles, and her relationships, became known, leaving behind a more complete picture of a woman who poured all her pain, passion, and vulnerability into her art. Octavia Butler. Octavia Butler was a trailblazer in every sense of the word. As a science fiction writer, she shattered barriers and challenged the status quo with profound explorations of race, gender, and humanity. Born in 1947 in Pasadena, California, Butler became the first African-American woman to make a name for herself in a field predominantly dominated by white men. Her iconic works, such as Kindred and the Parable series, delve deep into complex themes of identity and social justice, solidifying her status as a leading voice in Afrofuturism. By weaving personal stories into speculative fiction, Butler paved the way for future generations of writers to explore their own narratives in fantastical worlds. Yet, her personal life was a story that remained largely hidden from public view. While her literary contributions were widely acknowledged, her romantic relationships were kept carefully under wraps. Friends and biographers have hinted at secret lovers who played significant roles in her life, but these relationships were mostly left undisclosed throughout her lifetime. Butler was known to be intensely private about her personal affairs, which only added to the mystery surrounding her. She was also known to be attracted to both men and women, but the full scope of her emotional life remained obscured. It wasn't until after Butler's passing in 2006 that more details about her private life began to surface. These revelations painted a picture of a woman who, despite her groundbreaking literary achievements, experienced love and desire just like anyone else. The secrets that Butler kept hidden from the world only served to deepen her complexity as an individual, leaving behind an even more intriguing legacy. The love and relationships that shaped her life were as multifaceted and intricate as the world she created in her writing, offering a glimpse into the personal side of a remarkable woman who defied expectations in every aspect of her existence. Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross was the embodiment of smooth soul, with a voice as soft as velvet and romantic ballads that left an indelible mark on the music industry. Born on April 20, 1951, Vandross started as a background singer before achieving monumental success with his debut album Never Too Much in 1981. His distinctive style and heartfelt lyrics resonated with audiences everywhere, leading to hits like Dance with My Father, which earned him the Grammy Award for Song of the Year in 2004. With over 40 million albums sold and 8 Grammy Awards, Vandross solidified his place as one of the greatest voices in music history. However, his life wasn't as smooth as his music. While he was known for his romantic ballads, his personal life was far more complex. He kept his relationships tightly guarded, often hiding secret lovers from the public eye. Vandross's sexual orientation, which he largely kept private throughout his life, played a significant role in these hidden romances. Friends and biographers later revealed that Vandross had relationships with both men and women, reflecting the struggles he faced in a society that was not always accepting. After his passing in 2005, more details about his personal life began to surface, including the emotional depth behind many of his songs. These revelations painted a picture of a man who, despite his monumental success, kept his most intimate feelings shrouded in secrecy, adding layers of complexity to his legacy. The love, passion, and heartache that shaped his music were as intricate and multifaceted as the man himself, leaving behind a legacy of music that continues to speak to the heart. As we wrap up this journey into the secret lives of these incredible black celebrities, we hope you've gained a deeper appreciation for their complexity and the hidden aspects of their legacies. Their stories are a reminder that even the most famous and influential figures have personal struggles and relationships that remain unseen by the public eye. Which celebrity's hidden romance surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence. Your support helps us bring more exciting content to celebrate the lives and legacies of Black icons. Stay tuned for more fascinating stories.